Joining us now, Dr. Alan Featherstone, head of the Department of Ag Economics at K-State, one of the presenters at the Risk Profit Conference. And you talked about a couple of different subjects, and probably the one that's on most people's minds is looking at overall farm finances. We know that, I guess to say there's a challenge, that would be almost an understatement.
Certainly there has been challenges, and certainly we've been working through those. Actually, this last year, 2018, was actually an improvement. Part of that was just due to the market facilitation program. On Kansas, the average was $37,000 per farm, and that essentially increased the income to right about $100,000. We ended up taking a look at Kansas farms over the last 5 years, those that we had data for, just to see how the adjustments were made. In some respects, 2015 was the trough of the situation, and it's improved some since then. The first thing we saw this last year that has been a change in the trend is working capital. Previously, the liquidity and the ability to make payments in the last year had been stretched, but that changed and improved slightly. To give an indication, working capital moved from an average of $222,000 per farm to $233,000 per farm. Still not a great improvement, but at least it did stop the downward cycle that it had been on.
So we can say challenges with a small c.
That's probably true, although in some respects, if we look at 2019, and again, this is based on the crop conditions as they are now, we're actually expected to see some continued improvement. Looking at gross revenue from the cropping, the four major crops, corn, soybeans, sorghum, and wheat, we're expected to see about an 8% increase in revenue overall from last year, and so that's a positive sign. And then the market facilitation payment, essentially that's expected to increase by about $25,000 per farm. And so I think we could see perhaps if the year continues on and we don't have any major production surprises, I think we could see incomes up of about another $25,000 to $30,000 from where they were last year. And so in some respects, this will give some operations a chance to heal a little bit. I think there will be some discussion with regards to tax planning and whether or not there'll be additional investment, or whether or not there will be a year to pay some taxes and use that money to maybe pay down some debt or restructure some of the operations. And so, again, it won't be a great year, but in some respects, given where we were, I think 2019 does show a little bit of promise from an income perspective.
Dollars are dollars, regardless of where they come, so really the MFP could prop up folks at least for another year.
Certainly, I imagine it doesn't feel good from a producer perspective, but there is the dollars, and I think the big question going forward certainly will be what will be the continuation of those programs in terms of this last year. If you take out the MFP, we're at about a $63,000. This next year, we're probably about the same place without that MFP, and so that's just the very big wild card right now going forward. But certainly, it does present a little bit of an opportunity to have that cash flow to be able to allocate and maybe at least make some progress on some of the issues that certain farms have been dealing with for a number of years.
Dr. Alan Featherstone, Department Head of the Department of Ag Economics, K-State, joining us. Stay with us. More coming up.